Hello there. I'm back, fuckers. Yes. Good old Lord of Shadows has returned. So again, greetings to all of you, my followers of darkness, shadow scavengers, and villainy aficionados. Welcome, bienvenue. Boy, do I have something big this time. Oh boy, do I have, or at least it's a big thing for me. Okay, a big thing ever since I first heard it. I think it was like this Monday and everything. And guys, I cannot describe my excitement enough. Okay, when I first heard this news. So without any further ado, let's begin, shall we? So the news came the first time, at least I heard of it, was announced on Monday, I think, that a Crash Bandicoot animated series is in the works at Netflix. And guys, when I first heard this news, I was like jumping up and down like a totally crazy person. I was screaming like a little girl, and I even shed a few tears. Now, I know those kind of speeches you've heard from different people when it comes to especially when they were announcing some certain projects of a certain franchise. They're big fans and everything. I know, but trust me, guys, like it was for real. I was crying tears of joy. I cannot describe enough my excitement because this is something I was wishing for a very, very long time. Ever since I first started with Crash Bandicoot, who is also, by the way, one of my top 3 favorite franchises of all time. I grew up with these games. I played all the games, and I still play them today. I just simply love. I'm a big, big fan of Crash Bandicoot. And hearing this news, because I always said Crash Bandicoot has great potential when it comes to anime, movies, and TV shows. So I'm really, really happy, and I'm crossing my fingers this time is for real. Because if you remember, we had a first try before with, I think it was like with Amazon many years ago, and it all went out the window. I think because of the scripts. I think that was like the main reason and everything. So without further ado, let's go into the details, shall we? Well, if I can call them details. But anyway, so the very first time when this news was announced, it comes from a website called What's on Netflix. Now, when it comes to them, they have a pretty decent reputation when it comes to spreading news, who are truthful and everything, but also sometimes, they can say some news that apparently at the end they're not true. So, so at least for me, they kind of have a balanced reputation between, truthful and false and everything. So far, I'm taking this news, even though I'm really hoping with everything I have, I'm hoping it is true, but I'm still kind of like, holding it, on a 50-50 chance, level and everything. So basically, all it says here that the Crash Bandicoot animated series is in the works at Netflix. Now, one of the most important things when it comes to this particular article is that they announced that basically Wild Brain Studios will be involved in this project and everything. Now, if you don't know who Wild Brain Studios is, they're the guys who brought us cartoons like Carmen Sandiego, Sonic Prime. I think they also did the Smurfs, the 2021 cartoon. I think they also did Inspector Gadget and many other different cartoons, on the list and everything. So I was actually, in a way, I was like, okay, since they did Sonic Prime and everything, I was like, okay. I'm like, pretty excited with what type of studio will be involved in this project and everything. At least, in a way. I know that Wild Brain Studios gambled in 2D and 3D animation. So, but when it comes to coming out of the studio that did Sonic Prime, it kind of gave me an overall bigger hope that it's going to be 3D animation. Because even though I know there are some people who would love to see Crash Bandicoot being done in 2D, I personally prefer it to be done in 3D. Personally, however, now that was the original article. Now then, a day after. Right after it was announced, a day after, a spokesperson of Wild Brain Studios comes out and says, "No, sorry, this is not accurate. Wild Brain Studios is not attached to this project, so this news absolutely false, or at least this part of the news is absolutely false." Now, of course, immediately a lot of people have been jumping the gun and everything and saying oh well, then this is false, this is a lie, then this is not happening, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. Okay, just because a certain studio said they're not going to be attached to a certain project doesn't mean actually that the project is not going to be made at all. It doesn't mean like the entire news is 100% false and everything. That just simply basically means that maybe Netflix is not ready to announce, which studio will be attached to Crash Bandicoot, because we have to remember in the actual article we have no information about the story, we have no information about again with which studio is going to be involved, and also the voice talents. Like we have nothing. We are literally in the dark. When it comes to like this particular news. Now, again, after hearing this news, I went. I tried to do a little bit deeper research when it comes to like. If this news about Crash Bandicoot TV series is true and everything. So, but apparently, for what I found, it is true. I mean, one of the main websites who also announced this news, and they do not announce like everything that comes out of social media. IGN also confirmed that Crash Bandicoot TV series is actually in the works. At least for what I've seen, they also talked about it on their own website and everything. And I also, I've heard, I also seen, Game Awards announcing and everything. So apparently, so far, it is true. But we just have to wait and see and everything. But again, when it comes to Netflix, this is not the very first time that they're gambling when it comes to like the world of video games. Just look what they did with with Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, Arcane from League of Legends, Splinter Cell, Death Watch, and also if I remember correctly, they're also planning to do a Minecraft TV series and also a Clash of Clans as well, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, and also not to mention what they did with Sonic as well. So yeah, they're definitely dealing gambling when it comes to like or should I say not gambling, expanding in the world of video games and everything. Also, let's not forget, they also did Skylanders Academy. And by the way, Crash Bandicoot appeared in that TV show as well. Now, if this actually, Crash Bandicoot TV series is true, that means this is going to be like his second appearance when it comes to like TV wise and everything. So that's basically the news, because again, apparently, like I said, they didn't share any other information. I tried to see in this past like few days, I really tried to see if they shared some like new information about it and everything, but nope. The only that basically an animated series of Crash Bandicoot is in the works. That's all they've announced so far and everything, But either way, I'm really kind of curious which direction they're gonna go. I'm really kind of curious if it's going to be like a Sonic Boom thing, where basically each and every episode is going to be like its own story, like 10 to 11 minutes long, or they're going to be like over 20 minutes long episodes. Like which characters will appear, what they're going to do. Because at least from what I'm seeing, it could either go two ways. Either they're going to have like an actual story, basically expand on the entire season, or it's going to be like episode per episode storytelling. Which again, Crash Bandicoot being based on the Looney Tunes and everything, I could also definitely see being a TV show where basically each and every episode has its own story and everything. So again, we should have to wait and see, because so far, like I said, I'm standing on the 50-50 chance if this is actually true or not. I really don't want to jump in the gun, but I'm still really hoping this is actually true. I really, really am. And again, if they're doing a Crash Bandicoot TV series, I'm telling you, like, there's so much they could use for making this TV show. They could go from the beginning to like how Crash Bandicoot was created, through like the first game and everything, telling his origin story, or they could even use elements from like Crash to Insanity, or like from or like Cortex Strikes Back, or Warped, or Wrath of Cortex, like seriously, like Crash Bandicoot is such an enormous lore that they could literally use bits and pieces from all different games to create like this TV show, and also it depends on like how many episodes it's gonna have. Like if it's gonna be like over 20, or it's gonna be 13 or 10 or 8, we don't know about that when it comes to like even the number of episodes, But so far, we can only speculate. But again, apparently, for my research, it is true. They're actually making it and everything. Now, if this is actually true, when actually Crash Bandicoot could actually come out, knowing like the reputation of Netflix, some people might say 2026, but I don't think so. I think like The earliest I think we could see Crash Bandicoot come out, if this is true, if it's going to be in 2027. I think we're going to have to wait like a year. If this is actually true and everything, I think we're going to have to wait a year for this TV show to be made made and everything. So again, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But again, they have so much world building, so much lore in the Crash Bandicoot franchise they could use. So I'm really hoping that this TV show will open at the door to create more and more projects connected with the Crash Bandicoot universe. So with that being said, here I am done, guys. I mean, again, it was just an overall short video of me discussing about this potential like Crash Bandicoot TV series and everything. If it's going to be made or not, what kind of ideas for the story do you think they're going to have? Do you also think that the original voice actors will return to voice those characters again? And okay, before I close this video, there's one more thing I have to talk about. Will Crash Bandicoot actually talk? Now, that's the one thing I forgot to tell, because in Skylanders Academy, he actually talked. And even though personally I didn't like his voice actor, I didn't like his voice and that strong Australian accent. So if they're gonna make him talk again, I'm really hoping that this time they're gonna use a proper voice for Crash Bandicoot. But the question is he gonna talk? Because that's also a bit of a controversial topic, because not a lot of people will be happy, especially Crash Bandicoot fans. Not a lot of them will be happy if Crash Bandicoot actually talks. But honestly, I mean, when you have a video game, I know that some people are saying, through the cutscenes you can see, that you can keep Crash Bandicoot silent and everything. Yes, but cutscenes for a video game and with making a TV series, they're totally different genres. Okay, no genres. They're totally different platforms. Okay, totally different. So personally, I think they're gonna make him talk. And I know for some people it's going to be hard time to actually accept it, but I personally think, I mean, honestly, they could go either ways. I mean, they can use other characters like around them to kind of like fill up the void that in which like Crash Bandicoot doesn't talk and everything, and basically use him as through like body language and everything. Or they could just simply make him talk. I don't know, but for me personally, I think that the biggest chances are they're gonna make him talk. Absolutely, I think they're gonna make him talk. I mean, so far I would say 60-40 when it comes to like making him talk or not. But again, anything could be possible. And one another thing I'm really hoping is that not just simply that this TV show opens the door, if it's gonna be made. I'm hoping that this TV show will not only open the door to other like Crash Bandicoot projects, but also to other characters like Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter, Rayman, Sly Cooper. I'm really hoping that this TV show will open the door to all other different worlds and characters they could explore in like movies and TV shows. I'm really hoping that also comes true and everything. So again, let's cross our fingers and hope that this TV show is going to be made. Now, with that being said, here I am done. Again, rate the video, comment, like, subscribe. Give me your personal thoughts and what you thought about Crash Bandicoot being announced. That it's going to be made as an animated TV series. What do you think it's going to be, like an episode per episode storytelling, or do you think it's going to have like an actual story for the entire season? Which characters will return? And all the other different details and information. Just put it in the comment section down below. And yeah, I mean, when it comes to certain characters appearing, again, it could be literally anything. Like they can nearly start with Coco, Crash, or Crunch, or just simply, go with just simply Crash and Coco, because again, they have so much lore that they could use to make this TV show. So we shall have to wait and see. So until then, hope you guys have a nice day. And like always, Laurel Shadows signing off. Stay tuned for more. See you guys next time, or as I like to say, later, fuckers.